Hello, everybody, and welcome to another History of the VBRS video. Today, this is the last video of this three-part series. It is the 2019 to 2024 seasons of this league era. The 2018 one had a whole video to itself because it's the first. Now we get into 2019. So 2019, Jonas just won his first championship, but he's no longer going to be racing as much anymore. So mainly, it was down to me and Mom. And the first race was at a very long track at Pulaski Park, as this was before we flip-flop from Pulaski to Kazi and then the branch out era / beginning of the end. So we started the year doing the first 7 at Pulaski and ended the year at the last 7 at Kazi. So the first race was at a long track that we did at Pulaski, and there was weather coming in after we did a rookie race. I believe Josh won. No, it was Justin. A guy named Justin won it, who was friends with Josh. So then me and my mom raced in the rain, and I came out on top in an epic last lap battle for the win in the rain. The second race was around the pool. I came back from being a lap down to pass Mom with 4 laps to go around the outside to win my second race of the season. The third race was around the church. This was a race Jonas showed up in. It was me, Jonas, and Mom. Jonas pulled off late in the race. It was a close battle between me and him. I was wondering where the hell did he go, and I just saw that he pulled off to go get ice cream. So, yeah, we won. I won for the third straight race. And the last race of my winning streak was once again at the long course, and I won on a last lap, last corner pass on my mom. So the fifth race of the year was a great race at the original course. My mom won her first league race. It was her first win since the 2017 Summer Showdown, our pre-July 4th Crown Jewel race weekend race. That was our Crown Jewel, the Summer Showdown, which we didn't do that much. But anyway, that is irrelevant now. Race 6 was at the church. Mom beat me after I made a pass on her going into turn 1, and I overcooked the corner, and she took the lead with 3 laps to go. Race 7 was around the pool. Once again, another great race. Me and Mom were battling our hearts out that season, and I was leading coming to the white flag going into turns 1 and 2. However, I went wide in the grass, like way wider than I normally did, because I was in the grass basically the whole race over in turn 2, but I was just clipping it. That time I was way off the track, and Mom came through and stole the win in a photo finish between me and her. The next race was the first race at Kazi, and we were basically using the whole school. Basically, the whole school, we were running a big track at Kazi. It was Kazi's version of the big track, and this race is where I lost the 2019 championship. But because I came in with a 5-point advantage over Mom, and on lap 3, I fell near the end of the lap, and Mom won the race, and I lost the championship basically because of that, because I needed, from now then, I calculated the points. I needed to win every single race and have Mom not finish in 1 in order to win the championship. If my mom finished every race and I won every race, I would have lost by 3 points, which is exactly what happened. I lost the championship by 3 measly points. I'll just go through the rest of the races. Race 9 was the Kazi Yellow Line Oval. I took the lead late from Mom and won. Then, basically, since the summer was ending, we had to do double headers and triple headers. So, the Kazi front of school course, that was a night race. That was a really bad track. I won. It was a very poor designed track. Next was the Kazi Roval. I won that race. Then it was the all-school road course again, but we had to convert it to, we had to make it a different type of track because that track sucked. So the all-school road course was different. It was basically the backwards version of the Roval with a little chicane on the back straightaway. Yeah, I won that. And then we had a long night race at the Yellow Line Oval, which I barely won, where me and my mom almost wrecked coming to the finish. And then final race was the Kazi Oval. I won. Another thing that was key here was Jonas and his friend Aiden were switching back and forth to see if they could win the race as a duo. Aiden got the last lap and was digging hard to try and pass Mom, which unfortunately Aiden crashed in turn 3. I heard it when I was coming to the line, but I didn't care. I just crossed the line, and then I checked in on him after I came around and asked if he was okay. So yeah, Mom won her first championship and her first 4 races in this league era, which were basically her second through 5th career wins. I had 10 wins on the year and didn't win the championship. This season was my best season without winning a championship. So now 2019 is over. We go to 2020. And the storylines coming in are it's going to be me and Mom again, with Jonas showing up in a few races. And also, Rylan won the rookie championship that year, so he was in the series, and so was Josh. So this would be Josh's rookie year, basically, since he didn't race his first season. So now we head to 2020, and before the season starts, since the season was going to start earlier in May, it was going to start in the second to last week in May. So it was going to be the week before Memorial Day weekend. And a week before the week it was supposed to start, my mom got COVID, because COVID broke out a couple months before. I was in 6th grade at the time. So COVID breaks out, Mom gets it. We have to start the season a week later. And we started at an oval track that was next to the church, which not really a lot. I liked it, but Zach liked it. My buddy Zach, who you'll see later. We were the only 2 that liked it. Nobody else really did. So that was off the schedule after 2021. But I won and beat Mom pretty badly to win my 7th race in a row. But that would be the end, as Josh's debut was the next race around the church. And my mom didn't finish the race because she got pissed off at me for no reason. And she essentially lost the championship because of that, and a later down the line thing in the season. But yeah, Josh won his first ever race in a photo finish between me and him. Then we raced at the pool. I won that pretty handily. It was a day race. And yeah, I won. Then we raced around the original course. I won that again in another messy race. There was just a lot of traffic over there. It was very frustrating. Then we raced around the oval again, which was beside the church. I won that again after coming back from being down 2 laps to beat Mom in a photo finish. And then the greatest race of all time, which it probably will still be the greatest race of all time. Josh won the greatest race of all time. 6th race, Pulaski Park Original Course, July 4th night. Fireworks, a bunch of friends and family there. It was a great race. Then we raced around the pool. This was a crazy race where Josh had a stomach issue middle of the race, so he didn't finish. I was in the playground, because the pool was by the playground. The old playground had sand, and I was too focused on my mom to look where I was going. My mom and Josh to look where I was going. I ended up in the sand. But I made a recovery from being a lap down and took the lead from my mom with 2 laps to go. But I let her have the win because I didn't want the win to win like that. So mom won, and that kicked off her dominance because that was my last chance to win, and I didn't take it. Next week at the Oval at Kazi, my mom dominated. She beat me by 6 laps to win. That will be her best career win. Then we went around the Oval, and her bike was broken, I think, during the middle of the week. Yeah, it was broken because on Tuesday we did the Rookie Series Championship, and I fell twice in the same corner. Aiden won the championship. So he won the first stage of the race and quit. My mom had to use Jonas's grandma's bike, and what happened was it was a fuel mileage race, or we had the pit at the end because we do breaks, so you can kind of call it fuel mileage. And Josh pitted. He was a non-factor in the race. I was leading. I pitted with about 10 to go. 8 to go, sorry. Fully expecting my mom to pit. So I wasn't riding around. I was just riding around. I didn't expect anything of it. Then with about 3 laps to go, I realized she still hasn't pit yet. Maybe I should start to pick up the pace. And I started to pick up the pace. 2 laps to go. Mom didn't pit. Last lap, I thought, okay, for sure she has to pit. My mom takes the white flag. I'm like, she's not pitting. She's going to win the race. So I was trying to run her down, and she started to come to pit at the checkered flag. So she came into the pits to win the race. So yeah, that was a crazy race. So we then did we did 3 races in a row at this little track in front of the school. And Josh won the first one. He passed Mom late in the going. Then Mom won the next 2. Then we had a race at the Yellow Line Oval. The championship situation then was Mom had to win every stage and every race in order to beat me. I won the first stage in that race, and that basically meant I had to DNF in one of the two in the last 2 races. Mob won the Yellow Line Oval race, and then we raced around the oval late at night. Jonas won pole for this race, as this is the last race he did, because then we started to break apart. Our friendship broke apart literally in 7th grade. Yeah, Jonas won the pole and won the first stage, and then that was it for him. That was just me, Josh, and Mom the rest of the night. Jonas and Adrian, Jonas is a good buddy, but also my good buddy. They raced also that night, and yeah, my mom dominated. She won, but I finished 3rd, 3 laps down to win the championship. And that'll be my first in the league era. So I was champion. And then next year came along, 2021, the best season was definitely 2021. And we're going to zoom out here. Yeah, here we go. So here we go. This was the best season of VBRS. Storylines coming in was me and Mom, and then Josh. See what Josh could do. It was basically what could Josh do. So First races at the Kazi Oval. I had a new bike. I was struggling. Josh was beating me by 2 laps, and then it started to get windy in stage 3, and Josh was really getting affected by wind back then, and I came back from 2 laps down to win the race by a lap. So I won the season opener. Then the second race was at around the church. Josh won on his brother's bike. Yeah, it was David's bike. We did a double header that day. We were a week behind, so we did a race around the mile, and it was both races that day were in the rain, and we raced around the mile. We raced around the mile. Me and Josh were racing back and forth. And it came down to the last lap. Josh was leading. I was second. And coming through 3, I got on the outside of Josh. And coming off of 4, I had a big run of momentum and passed Josh right at the line to win that race in a photo finish in what was the first of many photo finishes there to come. Then we did a race at the pool. That was another messy one. A lot of traffic. Kids just not getting out of our fucking way. Little kids, I should say. And yeah, we had to finish it around the church, and Josh won. Then we raced a new track, the baseball track, and Mom won a night race there. Then we raced around the original course, and this was a great race. Mom was leading with about 2 laps to go. Yeah, 2 to go. I come into turn 1. I pass Mom to take the lead. Then on the last lap comes around. Mom gets to my inside, takes the lead back. I have to come around the outside, go into the last 2 corners. We break for the last corner, and it's a run to the line, photo finish, and it was super close between us. The closest finish in league history at that time, and I barely beat Mom to win that race. Then we raced in front of the school at Kazi, as this was the beginning of the Kazi portion. Yeah, we raced the race at Kazi before, and then we raced the race at Pulaski, so we kind of screwed that up. So yeah, we raced at Kazi first, around the front of school track, and there was a late restart with 2 laps to go, because I crashed into the fence in turn 1, but it wasn't that bad. Mom was leading, Josh was second. Mom never knew she was the leader, so she had to beat Josh to the line first. She didn't. Josh beat her, and then I passed Mom and got second, and I would have won at my worst track. But then I asked Mom if she was the leader, if she knew she was the leader, and she said no. And I said, Josh, you won the race. So then we raced around the the track besides the church at Pulaski, and it was a great battle between Josh and Mom. I was off that night, and Josh beat Mom by a lap to win that. Then we raced around baseball again, and I needed to win the next 2 races in order to win the regular season championship. I passed Mom on the last lap. I had to run her down for the final 5 laps. I did on the backstretch on the last lap to beat her and win at that track. Then at the July 4th Crown Jewel race, I made a great strategy call and pitted way before Josh and Mom did, and so they were battling for second, and they were way behind me, and I won the race and the regular season championship. I was sick that day too, and I went to Road America that day also, so that was a really great performance. The first ever playoff race in league history, since we did full season championships back then, but we needed to do playoff races since me and Mom were the only 2 who would race week to week. Josh won the first one. I was off. I was having kickstand problems that night. Josh beat the crap out of us. Then the next race, Mom won again. She kicked my ass, beat me by 7 laps. I was having a rough night that night. I was off those first 3 playoff races because then the third race, I had a shoelace issue or got caught again on my bike. I had to pit early. I was a lap down, trying to get my lap back, and Josh was racing me really hard, and my legs got tired. So it was a battle between Josh and Mom, and Josh won the race. I was trying to block Josh to help Mom win because we were teammates, family, and my mom didn't take it when she had a clear shot to win the race, and she didn't take it, and I was pretty pissed off. But then, championship race around the pool on a Tuesday night, August 2nd, 2021. I kicked the crap out of Josh and Mom to win back-to-back championships in 2020 and 2021. And I dominated that race. They were not beating me. I was locked in, and I finally won again and got another championship. And that is my last championship currently ever. I have not won a championship since. So then it was 2022. Storylines were me versus Josh, and my black bike was broken during the off season, so I had to get a new bike. And yeah, I got a new bike, and it was a BMX bike, and I knew I was gonna have a rough season. I suck on those types of bikes. I need gears on my bikes in order for me to be successful. So, also the rookie series was done. Mark won the championship over Denny. 2 buddies there. So Zach, me, and Denny was the first race of 2022. No Josh. Zach won the race. I had to run him down late the last 20 laps. I got to his back bumper, but I could never pass him. Zach won his first race on debut. Then the second race of the year was around the Kazi Playground, and this was the best battle that I had with Josh this season, because it came down to a photo finish. Josh won barely, and this would be the start of Josh's undefeated season. Then the original course happened. Josh won pretty good, because this is where I started to struggle in the season. Race 4 was around the mile, and I didn't beat Josh. Who did I beat? I think it was Mom. Yeah, I beat Mom. I'm pretty sure that race. Oh, no, I didn't. Mom didn't race that race. It was me, AJ, my friend AJ. It was his first ever bike race because he wanted to be a part of it. So, yeah, me, him, and Denny raced. I had a great photo finish where I stole stage 1 from him. And then stage 2, he won. Then stage 3, I dominated. And I won my first race of the year against him. Gave me a good battle, though. That was the same day my grandpa died, too. I found that out the next morning, which is unfortunate. Next was a race around... So this was the last race ever at the track next to the church, I believe. I won, and I think I beat Mom. Oh, and this was also the last season that... 2021 was the last season where... No, 2020 was the last season we did full Kazi or Pulaski the first 7, and then Kazi the last 7. Race 6 was at baseball. Me, Josh, AJ, and Josh's brother David would make a return after retiring due to injury in 2019. Josh won. He beat AJ. I came last. I was awful that race. Like, this was my worst season. Next was the pool. Josh beat me because I was just trying to stay out to keep the lead until Josh passed me, which he eventually did with 3 to go. That was Josh, me, and Christian. And then race 8 was in front of the school. Josh won. Race 9 was the July 4th Crown Jewel race. Josh beat me and Mom again. Oh, yeah. Now I'm starting to remember more of the season. When we did the original course, I didn't race because that was when I was down in Indy. So I just watched Josh and his buddies Alex and Nick race, and Josh dominated. Alex had the lead for a bit, but Nick was awful. Um, and then yeah, race race 5 that I won. Um, it was me and Denny. Denny had the lead, and then I passed him with 5 to go. Nick was also racing, and he was pretty bad. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Shit. Race 8. Josh won. Oh, I think that was here. It was Josh, me, Alex, and Ben, and Alex had a pretty bad crash, and that would be his last ever race. So yeah. Race 9 would be the July 4th Crown Jewel race. That was the most boring one. Josh beat me, Mom, and Christian. Christian had a fall during the middle of the race. But yeah, what I was talking about with Alex, it was Alex, Josh, me, and Ben. That was Ben's only race. Like I said, most of the people back then I don't talk to now. Race 10 was the regular season finale around the mile. Josh won. AJ inexplicably pitted twice. Josh was awful for the beginning parts of the race. Then stage 3, he came from last to first. AJ was dominant that race. Then he inexplicably pitted twice in stage 3 and finished third. My mom almost beat Josh that day. Then we raced to the church. It was me, Mom, and David. I was ahead with 20 laps to go for my mom, and David was awful that race. And I told my mom, "Hey, I'm gonna lap you. I'm gonna win." Then my mom turned it on, and she raced me really hard for the last couple of laps, but I pulled it out. So I was in the final 4. Then we raced around the playground at Kazi. It was me, Josh, and Zach. Josh won. And then it was around the church where it was me, David, and Denny. David and I had a great battle the entire race. And David came through, and this is the last 2 laps. David was on the inside, I was on the outside. David had a bad run out of 2, and I took the lead coming to the white flag. I led at the white. I went to the inside. David went in the grass and got inside of me off of turns 1 and 2. David had the lead going down the back, and we headed into turn 3, and David came up the track, and I thought he was going to stuff me into a tree, so I braked, and David won the race, which is his first and only career win. Probably won't be his last because we're going to try and bring him back for this season, but we'll see, as this is David's last race that he has done since then. And then the finale was at the baseball track. Josh won for his first championship. It took him two years to get his first championship, and he completed his undefeated season. 9 wins, 0. He won every race he did. He didn't do the races that I won, David won, and Zach won. And he was champion, ironically, with number 9, and he won 9 races that year. So the next season storylines was what was going on with me, and could Josh keep his undefeated streak going? So we begin in last year. Josh doesn't show up for the first race. This race was at Sheridan, the first race at Sheridan that we have done. And it was Zach, me, and Denny. Denny didn't pit in the last stage. Zach had to chase him down on the front stretch to beat him. And Zach won his second race of the year, both on season opening races. I was last. I was terrible on my birthday. Yeah, it was last year. The last 2 years were rough before this year. Race 2 was at the front of the school. And this is where Josh's undefeated streak would end, as he was absolutely awful this race. AJ came through and won his first race over me, as I was struggling that race too, since it was my worst track. I never won there. Then we ran around the pool at Pulaski backwards. Josh won. I was awful that night. Then we raced at a new track called the Twister at Kazi. AJ got his second and last win of his career over me and Denny. So you noticed I still haven't won yet. We raced at, what was that race? I think it was no. What race was that Josh won? Oh, it was at the pool. It was at the pool. So we had me, Josh, AJ raced around the pool. Josh won. AJ was second. I was last. Then, finally, at the baseball track, I beat Mom to win my first race of the year. Then we raced at Sheridan at the Aquatic Short Track, and I won back-to-back races that year in 2023, and that was my first 2 wins of the season. So I finally won. It took me 6 races. It is not taking me that long to win a race ever. I normally win in the first week, and that was a rough start to the year. But at least I got those 2 wins. Then Josh won at, I believe, he won one at the church, and I believe the other was at the mile. Yeah, it was. And we went around the playground. It was just me and Christian. He didn't race that many, but this will be his last race ever. He won. He beat me on the last lap in turn 3 to win his first ever bike race. And it'll be his last one, because he probably won't race again with me. Then we started the playoffs. It was the July 4th Crown Jewel race. The only July 4th Crown Jewel race that is not 75 laps. It was 50. Zach won in overtime. I was the dominant bike that day, and I did not get the job done. Zach won the race. Then we raced around the mile, which is basically the greatest finish of all time. It was a green-white checkered. Me and Josh were side by side the whole time. Josh on the inside, I was on the outside. I was beating Josh that day too. It was a really good race against Josh too. Oh, that's what happened. The other time we were here, this was my best track that year. As I took the fight to Josh in the earlier race here, there was a party going on across the street as well, and we referenced that a lot that day. So we were going around. This was late in the going. There was a 5 lap to go restart. Josh has the lead. He's pulling away from me. I'm trying too hard to get back up to him. The bike snaps loose in turn 3. I make a nice drift and save it, but then I go straight into the wall because my brain was fried in that moment. And I went straight into the wall in turn 3, and I had a big-ass crash, and that ended the race there. This time, we went side by side. I had the lead on the inside, on the bottom. Josh somehow found a way to get to my inside, and we were side by side the whole entire final lap. So going into turn 1, I was on the outside, Josh was on the inside. Coming off of 2, we were still on the outside, inside. I had the lead. Going down the back into the turn 3, I lifted to avoid crashing in that corner again, because I was on the same bike as I was last time, my mom's bike. I cleared Josh going into turn 3, and coming off of 4, I had the lead. Josh pushed it to try and get to steal the win away in a photo finish. I pushed him all the way up the track and barely beat him for the closest finish ever in this series. So I won and locked myself into the championship 4. Josh won the next week at the church, and then we raced at the Kazi Oval a couple weeks after, me and Josh again, and it was a great championship fight. Josh made one of the best moves ever in a bike race. He came down the backstretch with like 10 to go. He went right around the outside of me and went into turn 3, which is an uphill corner that would take everybody to the wall. So I was certain he was going to hit the concrete wall, but he made it stick, and he really took the lead from me. Thankfully, there was another restart that happened, and I led at the white flag lap. We were side by side going into 1 and 2. We were side by side down the backstretch heading for the championship, and into turn 3, my bike was struggling going into the turn 3 that whole day. I went way up to the wall. Josh cut me off up there, and he won his second championship and his last championship. Ironically, at the Kazi playground, the same place where Jonas did, and now I don't really talk to him anymore. So, yeah, that'll be Josh's last championship, and it was the greatest championship battle we have ever had. So now, 2024, the storylines were, could I beat Josh? And could Josh go 3 in a row? I'll answer that question to that 3 in a row part right now. He did not. As the first race of the year was Deja Vu, where Mom forgot to pit in the 3rd stage and beat me and Denny. Then we went to Sheridan for the road course, and I beat Mom pretty good. We went to the Kazi playground next. I won again, beating Josh in a photo finish in basically our last great battle together. Then we raced around an old track we did where I'd raced and Jonas raced on scooters in the past. We raced around that track was called the Boot. Josh beat me on the last corner because I almost won. I was side by side with him on the last corner somehow. And after getting smoked for 35, the last 5 I came through and almost won. But Josh won, and that will be his last career win. Then we went to the Twister. I won again. We went to the original course. Right? Yeah, this is the original course. I won again. Then we went to Sheridan Park. Or no, sorry, not Sheridan, Cudahy Park. And did a race at the American Speedway. I beat Mom by a lap. We went around the pool. I won. We went around the mile. I won the photo finish after almost getting struck by a lightning going out the night before. We came back out to finish the 5 laps, and I beat Mom in a photo finish. Oh yeah, the pool was a photo finish too. And then the church, I didn't want to win, so Mom took it from me with 2 laps to go and won. Then we raced in the best race this year at the Aquatic Short Track at Sheridan. Mom beat me in a very close photo finish. Then we raced at the church again. Mom won in another photo finish. Then we raced at the playground. I had a clutch win there, thanks to some defensive riding, and I won that race. Unfortunately, in between that and the championship race, I got injured, so it was Zach versus Mom for the championship in Zach's first race that he did this year, and he won the championship over Mom in the July 4th Crown Jewel race. Oh, and also that's his back-to-back July 4th Crown Jewel race, as he won it last year in overtime against me and Mom, but mainly me because we were battling it out last year, and he took it from me in overtime. But this year, he won it over Mom, fair and square, dominated the race, best performance ever, finally made a championship race, and finally got a championship. And heading into 2025, it's now, can I win a championship again? And how is Zach going to start off his championship defense season? So that is it from the history of the VBRS 2019 to 2024. And let's see what we can do these last 2 seasons, in the last 2 ever Veteran Bike Racing Series seasons. That's it. This video is done. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm RV. I'm out. Peace!